What a weekend it was here at the Stafford Motor Speedway, and we'll do it again this week. A little less pressure, though, this week after an incredible 2 days of a week ago. So many memories made here at Stafford Speedway.
The crowd on Saturday was unreal. It was another sold-out, packed house, and they were sold on it. I mean, they were loud. They were giving their ovations to all the drivers. I mean, everybody had a loud reaction, and when Ryan Newman made that winning pass off of turn 4 with about 6 laps to go, I was on the opening at the back straightaway, and I could hear the crowd over the engines. And the SRX cars make a lot of noise. So when I heard the crowd over the engines when Newman made that pass, that was surreal. I mean, that shows you the New England fan base, man, they are into it, and they really did us proud, giving us an amazing atmosphere for SRX.
We hope everybody enjoyed the weekend. The grind continues this Friday night, a special night for the SK Light Modifieds. We'll talk more about that in a moment. But first, the SK Modifieds, they were busy last week with not one but 2 main events.
Yeah, double duty and for some, double trouble.
Yep.
For example, the guy who came in as the point leader, Ronnie Williams, 2 bad nights in a row, 31st on Friday, 30th on Saturday, loses the point lead. Brian Narducci, one of the guys that was a point leader earlier in the year, he was involved in that wreck with Ronnie on lap 2 on Friday and then had to race a different car on Saturday. Didn't even get a top 15 finish either way, so he lost points. But when it comes to the guys who did well, Friday we got to start with David Arute. Came home with the win, his second victory of the season, the SK Modifieds. And then the next day, Steven Kopchik, who kind of came out of nowhere. He really wasn't up there running top 3 for most of that race. It was mainly Todd Owen and Marcello Refrano, but Marcello was doing whatever he could to try and get that first SK win. Came up a little bit short, and Marcello couldn't hold off Kopchik on that final restart. Kopchik got around him on the outside to get his division-leading 3rd win of the year. There was a lot that went on during this weekend, Kyle.
And Todd Owen continuing to do what Todd Owen does best. It's what won him the title a year ago, and that is be consistent. Podium finishes both days.
And you just don't really notice that he's there until it matters most at the end. He's just so quiet. He actually led a good amount of the race on Saturday, but lost power steering because he was pulling away from the field until the caution came out late in the race. But typical Todd, tenacious Todd, just always there when it matters most. You don't talk about him the first 20 laps, and the last 20 laps, there he is.
And that's why he has a 26-point lead going into this Friday night. In the late models, the Adam Gray Express derailed on Friday night.
Yeah, he finished second. That's what we talk about when it comes to derailing. He finished second to Andrew Moeller, who gets a second career late model victory. And it's been a bit of an up and down year for Andrew. The season started off with a wreck on lap 2. Then he bounced back to finish in the podium. And now, after a couple lackluster weeks, back in the podium and then back in victory lane. A race that was very clean for the most part. And Adam Gray admitted he just ran out of time. I mean, Moeller pulled away to a big lead at the end. John Blake got back to the podium for the first time since Spring Sizzler weekend. So Adam has the point lead because of his consistency. I know he didn't get 5 in a row, but a second ain't too shabby, Kyle.
And it is Gray with the point lead by 6 over Michael Ray going into this Friday night. In the limited late models, it was a familiar name and face back in victory lane for the first time this year after a tough start to 2022.
It was a very tough start for Matt Clement, whether it was mechanical problems, crashes, or just not having the speed. But he had the speed this past Friday, started second, got past Ari Jensic on the first lap, and then had to hold off Jeremy Lavoie, who was really fast, and he was on the bumper of Clement for several laps at the end of the race. In fact, he made a move going into turn 3 after Matt Clement slid up the track, but a lap car got in the way. Clement was wise and used that lap car as a pick, and Jeremy had to back off. And Clement has put Jeremy over a lot in how clean Jeremy races him, and he raced him clean that time. Lavoie was close to getting that first win of the year, but this time around, Matt Clement got it done. And for Jeremy, it's big for him in the points because Rich Hammond didn't even finish in the top 5, so Lavoie was able to cut into that point lead.
Down to 6 between those two coming into this week's action. In the street stocks, another first-time winner, 3rd of the year.
Yeah, it was a great run for Travis Downey. We talked to him about a month ago about how he came so close to getting that first win, that photo finish with Jason Finkbein, but he got it done last Friday. He was up front from the start, got past Marvin Minkler, and had to hold off Burt Willett. It's not easy holding off Burt Willett, so he got done. Another driver that used a lap car as a pick when Burt made his move, which is a smart move. So good on Travis Downey. He had the little surprise in victory lane with Michael Walter presenting the trophy. That was awesome. And Travis was very emotional in victory lane because it means so much to him. He was the Rookie of the Year last year, had a couple moments of adversity, whether it was flipping or wrecking in a heat race last year, but this year, much more consistent, and it paid off Friday night.
And it's the other Travis that leads the standings. Travis Haidar by 32 over Burt Willett. The SK Light Modifieds, they provided some highlights for the old highlight reel last Friday, including Josh Carey, who has his own highlight reel, and it all began right behind us.
Yep. When you see tire marks that high up, it's not a good sign. We're glad he's all right.
We are.
It was a crazy flip off a turn two. It kind of reminded me of Woody Pitcat in the tri-track race a couple years ago when he went up on his side, but Carey this time went all the way over on his roof and skidded pretty much the whole way down the backstretch. He was all right, though. They just had to flip the car over so he can climb out. It was a crazy incident. He hasn't had much luck since his first win, and he was running top 5 when that happened. But, man, it seems like when Carey has an accident, it's not minor. We've seen him go over the wall. We've seen him climb up the wall. Carey's been fast this season, just bad luck. But the guy that had good luck was George Bissett Jr. for once, because he's had a lot of bad luck this year getting caught up in accidents from Spring Sizzler weekend onward. But he got his first win of the season, the SK Lights, his third career win this division. And Tyler Berry came close, but he and Bissett made a little bit of contact coming off turn number 4, coming to the checkers. Berry got second. He may not have been happy with the finish, but in the big picture, it was huge because Tyler Chapman was involved in the wreck. Actually, he was black flagged for causing a wreck and then got involved in the wreck in turn 4 and didn't finish the race. His first bad race of the season, and it has tightened that point gap considerably.
What was over 50 points is down to 12 going into this Friday night, and a very special night for the SK Light Modifieds. Dunleavy's night here, 40 laps, extra distance, extra money on the line.
Yep, but the question is, can someone stop Derek Debus? Because Debus has won the last 2 40-lappers. The first time it was his first career win, and then last year it helped him win his first championship. And Debus is bouncing back from a wreck last week as well. And every time Debus has a wreck, seems like he comes back and does really well, if not win. But 40 laps, maybe these drivers will be a little more patient this time around because last Friday's event was a bit of a survival game. We saw a lot of guys, a lot of top contenders have trouble. I mean, Charland was leading. All of a sudden, his car broke. We mentioned Debus. We mentioned Chapman. I mean, a lot of the top guys. Alex Pearl was involved in the wreck when Josh Carey flipped. So 40 laps. Hopefully there's a little more patience, and we'll see the top guys find their way back to the front, or maybe we'll have a surprise. You never know.
So many storylines in a field that has averaged about 30 cars already this season. Going to be fun to watch them go double the distance on Friday night for 40 circuits. If you can't be here in person, as always, you can tune in on flowracing.com for all the action that gets underway right around 6 p.m. Eastern Time.